Yes,
You're there
that's right.
to
Yeah.
deliver an experience for something. Because
Yeah.
I've always said, like, if I could sing or play an instrument,
Yeah.
I think I'd have done that
Yes.
more than
Yeah.
anything in the world. Because
Yeah.
I've seen it, when you see people get on a karaoke machine and they sing a certain song and the hairs on the back of your neck stand up,
yeah.
and you can do that if you're a singer. I don't think there's anything. Your hairs on your back of your neck don't stand up when I go out and do evaluation. They just don't do that. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
I
yeah.
can sell your house for £260,000. You know.
Oh, that's really done it for me. As that, yeah.
But as a singer
yeah,
and a performer, if you can deliver that and know you've touched somebody,
yeah.
there's no other kind of thing that does that really for someone.
I know I've looked out many a time in the audience, and a certain song, it might be that the parents played it when they were growing up or whatever, and they're crying, you know, and you think, you know, was it that bad? No, you know, it's like it's just touching on the heartstrings of memories, and when you can do that with a song, it's like it's pretty magic, isn't it?
It's kind of really empowering.
I'm getting paid for this, you know.
Yeah.
It's like it's
I've seen some people sing, and in my head I've been like watching them, and I almost feel like I'm
like
X Factor, you know, if you see a guy that tells his story, because they do it very, very well as well, don't they? And you kind of get a feel for it, why he's singing that song, and they do it, and like you say, telling the story within the song as though it's your own story.
Yes.
It's an amazing kind of feeling, isn't it?
I do that now within my shows now. I do try to integrate that, you know.
And it's not an easy thing to do.
Nah. You know, explain the song, or how especially it might be to me, you know, or it might have been to Frank at the time, and you're setting up this kind of image, aren't you? And then when you hit the first line, you can just blow them away with the first line.
Yeah. And I think when I had you, because when we did the opening of the store, I got Phil in, because I was like, well, what do I put in there? Do I put a magician in there?
Yeah.
And I always remember, and I thought I'll put Phil in because the image I wanted to portray was perfect.
Yeah.
But I knew that when I got you in, I thought people are going to be impressed by this because it's going to be professional. It's a polished performance you do every time. You do. So when Phil came in, I didn't know anybody were going to come in to support me. I thought it might be a damp squid, but I thought, well, we've got Phil in, and he can play some songs and things like that.
Yeah.
And then when you play the song, I was watching some of the people that were in there, and they all could have seen and they saw you, and then thought, oh, he's a smart guy, looks like Frank Sinatra. And then you started a song, and I can see, you probably could see it as well, people going, he actually sounds like him as
people
well.
stop doing what they're doing.
They do
and
it,
listen, which
looking.
it's a great feeling, that, you know. It is a.
I you know, when I got you in, I was. It's a good show, because the song that I got you to sing for me that meant something to me was I Did It My Way.
Oh yeah.
And it wasn't because Frank Sinatra.
No, true. No,
it
the
was
words.
I've built Dan Pearcell's homes my way. Nobody else would have ever thought that could have been done that way.
Yeah.
And I always remember when I first started the company, that was the point I wanted to achieve.
Yes.
I did it my way, and I've got my office, and I've built my team.
Yeah.
And I got to that point.
Yeah.
But the sacrifice as well up to it as well was the enjoyable part, although I hated it.
Yes.
But that was almost the pinnacle to say that. And it meant a lot to me, because I kind of wanted to show my mum that I was a success, that I wasn't a failure.
Yeah.
So as my mum was there, and it was kind of a memory that'll always sit in my mind.
That's all in your mind, yeah.
And then you belt the song out, and I've kind of got to go, I've got to feel like I can hold it in, but it meant something to me.
Yeah. It goes deep, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I know I'm going deep now, but
but it does. I mean,
it's a memory I'll never forget.
That's the thing that songs do, really, you know. And obviously, from the beginning, I didn't really know this. It was just like, you know, he's a good singer, whatever. I might be able to do that. But the songs, the words, you know, these were wordsmiths that put these songs together. They know what they're doing. They're not just words.
They're not just putting them together.
It's any old word. Like I mean, it's a skill and an art, and to bring that across then is you know, you got to do it justice, haven't you? Really.
Of course you do.
So at first, it was very hard. By the way, I won that competition, which was just a great reward for me, because I didn't think I'd get beyond the quarter final. Eventually, like I say, there were maybe 4 of us in the final. I won it. Some people weren't happy. They lost. You know, they thought they were going to win, and they walked out. And the families walked out with them. And
No.
oh yeah, there was real sort of. I saw some real like shit.
Petty people.
Ridiculous stuff. You didn't deserve it and didn't do this and whatever. And that sort of drove me into like, well, I'll show you where I'm going to take this, you know. And like I say, I mentioned Alan Kent, who was the DJ karaoke master at that time, and he was a judge as well on that day. He said to me, look, why don't you get yourself a dozen songs together? You could really go somewhere with this, because you know you've got aspects in your voice of Frank, kind of a little bit naturally, work on it more, and you got the look, so you could be on a win at it. Why don't you just, and he sort of planted the seed, and I just kept on driving it from there. The sport took the back seat, and the singing just went crazy. Like from then on, singing from your local pub, the Top Hole in Cherwell, you know, for 50 quid or something. I think actually the first gig was for free, just to get a gig. And I met a mate on Ken Christian, who was a club singer, pub and club singer at the time. They always got kind of rubbish money, but good singers, real good singers. I don't knock any singer. It's just that they're doing the clubs don't pay good money. Taught me a lot, taught me how to set up PA system, again how to deal with an audience, and he helped me on the first couple of gigs, the commercial, took me on some of his gigs and gave me half of his money. You're only on at 80 quid or something a night, they give me half the money. As well as teaching me how to do it. And
was he getting anything from this, or just trying to help you out as a friend?
We became a good friend, and sadly we lost him last year as well, and he helped me so much. It was incredible. You know, I'll never forget these people, because I wouldn't have been doing it now if you want.
You wouldn't be where you are today, would you? With
it? And then eventually I decided, you know, with the winnings from the competition, I bought a small PA system, decided to get myself out there, and I was lucky enough to get a once a month residency at the Crystal Runs, which down in Backley, which is the old Backley Variety Club. You know, it's
used to be the Frontier when I used to go.
That's the one, yeah.
It's now JD's gym.
Yeah.
Crystal Rooms were next door.
Next door. People used to go in the Crystal Rooms, and literally it's the Crystal Rooms because crystal chandeliers all hanging through it. Beautiful grand piano in the middle. Every week they had a singer on. It was a cycle of 4 singers, one a week, turnover on the month. And there were these old crooners there, you know, how dark are they then? And I got asked to do it. I was so honoured, really, you know, a live trio band as well, so I had to learn how to.
And how far back is this, just talking?
So really that would be, we're talking 98 when it took off.
Back in those days, the Crystal Rooms was kind of a big deal.
It was.
Well, Bradley for that Variety was huge.
That was like sort of everybody, Bassey, you know, and some of the big names all came to perform there. They were queuing up to perform there. And they'd take them in a limo to the Devonshire Arms to stay overnight after they'd performed at Backley Variety Club, rather than putting them in some hotel in Backley. And you know, it was the business. And then obviously when it became the Frontier, Crystal Room, it was great to get this gig. And a lot of my followers from Morley, and I started to get a bit of
an audience.
People want to come and listen to me, and I mean, I was so green. I was still talking like I was from Batley, you know, in between the songs. I was like, yeah, buy it, you know, would you whip it and all that. And I really was. And obviously then you have to learn how to speak like Sinatra in between the songs to kind of bring this image across of the guy you're trying to portray.
Which is not what... When you're a performer and you've been hired out as a performer, you actually have an American accent as you talk to the audience, not just talk to the audience and then sing as well.
So
you kind of go that extra mile.
You do, yeah, and the mannerisms as well. When you're singing and performing, you watch his mannerisms. You try to bring them across in the song, and I just ended up like, I thought, I love this. This is like the way I go. And then from that, there was a guy that went in there who actually lived about 3 streets from me when I was a kid. I never knew him, Dennis Casson, and he was a press agent. And he approached me after one of the gigs, and he just said, "Oh, anybody ever done a press release about you? You know, about how it started and whatever else?" And I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." So he said, "Well, look, I'll do one for you. Put this press release together." So it's a great story. Local barber, you know, singing in a local pub, and then all of a sudden it's taking off, and you've been Sinatra, you know, one of the iconic legends of all time in the singing world. And I went, yeah, okay then. He says, if I get you great publicity, I'll charge you. If I don't, it won't be a penny. So I thought, well, that's a great deal.
Mm-hmm.
And he came to our house and sat in the dining room and recorded this story on his little tape. And then a week later, he'd put the head in, Comb Fly With Me, you know, the old Comb. Yeah. From barber to singer. And the Daily Star got hold of it first, and then the Sun got hold of it a few days later, and then Yorkshire Television called me a couple of days after that. They'd seen the story. They wanted to come and interview me.
And they was just straight after a guy who basically just said, look, have you...
Press agent. Like he was the media of the day with them on, wasn't he? You know, it was all newspapers then.
Of course.
And the story just... Obviously, he was so good at what he did. I mean, you know, he used to work for a London paper. And it was so damn good, you know. Everybody wanted that story, and they put a picture in the Star of Sinatra and me at the side of him to show the similarities.
And what page was this on in the paper?
It was like, well, I don't think it was page 3, but anyway. Or at least
do they do page 3 now anymore?
I'm not sure.
Do they do page 3?
I think they might be semi-clad now. I think they might have some gear on, you know. But them days, yeah, we're all topless. So it'd be at least page 5 anyway.
So you were quite in the Daily...
my clothes on.
In the Daily Star?
Yeah.
So this is a massive newspaper as well,
big,
isn't it? To be the middle of that.
And with your picture at the side of Sinatra's.
Yeah.
The new Frank and stuff like this, the papers were saying, they were like, you know what I mean, get a grip, I'm going to having a go at this, you know.
What was going through your mind when that happened?
It was one of them things, you know. It was like, is it going to work? You know, I had some people in my family going like, again, like the sport, you know, it'll never work, like, you know what I mean, it'll never work. Yeah, just, you know, stick to your day job, and you hear people, and like you've said about when you're trying to kind of show people that
prove them wrong.
I'll show you I can make it in this game, and you need a bit of luck as well, and meeting the right people. If I hadn't met Dennis Casson that day, this maybe wouldn't have happened. But another thing happened with this. I got a call. Somebody else had seen something in the paper, an agent from Wakefield, and he said, if you get yourself a band together, just a 3-piece, we've got a tour coming up in the Middle East, in Dubai and Al Ain and all these places across the desert and stuff. You have to drive between the gigs and all. Drive across the desert.
I'm just laughing. I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm just thinking what goes through Karen's mind.
Yeah.
You know, and all this happens.
Yeah, 1 minute I'm cycling to Germany.
I'm off to Far East with her, and I'm going to be Frank Sinatra.
Yeah. It was just like mad, yeah. And all the, you know, all the Arabs and stuff were going crazy. And yeah, so, well, we ended up like, you know, obviously get yourself a band. I didn't have a band, so I had a friend who I knew from Otley, who had a recording studio. I knew he'd no musicians, so he put me onto a bass player called Christine Topman. He put me onto a pianist, Matt Stacey, who ended up being with me about 15 years. Matt, brilliant player, and then we got another guy involved. And I said, right, we're going out on tour, you know, a week tour Middle East. I'll let Yorkshire Television know this was happening, and they said, okay, we're flying out with you and we're going to film the whole week. So they filmed everything, and because we had the press coming out with us, all the hotels put us in like the presidential suite and all these places, you know what I mean? I'm normally staying like equivalent to their travel lodge, you know.
Yeah.
And they're really, and like we're having sort of what's it called? You know, when all the press come round to interview.
Like a press release.
Yeah, we were doing all these things, you know, like mics all lined up and everybody coming to like get a story, and I was properly like crapping.
Had you rehearsed what you was going to say, or were you just like, no?
No, he's just thrown in, you know. Really? And like, yeah, I'm from Cherwell, you know. And like, where's that then in the country, you know, in the world? Yeah, it was kind of, I wasn't ready for it. I was nowhere ready for it. And when you look back at obviously it was VHS video, DVD came in a year later or so. Yeah, it was a big thing. They ended up doing a half-hour, condensing it to a half-hour documentary on ITV, and it was 7:30 prime time on a Saturday night.